Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's currently almost 8 o'clock at night. Robbie and I just put the baby down to bed, and our house is a wreck. Like, it is a mess. But if you're a mom, you probably totally understand this. If it's the middle of the day, you come downstairs, it's nap time, the house is a mess. Sometimes I think to myself, why even clean it? Because when she gets up from her nap, we're just going to be playing down here and making a mess again, so might as well leave it. That combined with dinner that we just had, dishes in the sink, bottles that need to be washed, it's just time to do a general pickup. So I figured this would be a perfect video to not only do a general pickup and clean with me, but also talk you through my nighttime routine. So I'm going to leave my Instagram right here, but also I am following something, thank you Robbie, but I also follow somebody called The Goodness Margin, and she talks about having a nighttime tidy and nighttime routine. So my routine is not exactly like hers, but she did give me the idea to have my own nighttime routine to set myself up for a really good morning. So let's start with the kitchen. Please enjoy this video. I'm gonna try and add some really fun Christmas music here, and also I will do a voiceover kind of explaining my nighttime routine as we go. But until then, okay, so one of the biggest things that I have learned from The Goodness Margin, and I have loved lately, is I run my dishwasher every single night, whether it's full to the brim or there's only a couple things in it. That way I have everything I need for the next day, no matter if it's a pot or a pan or a certain utensil, or lately it's baby spoons. I've got everything I need. It runs overnight, so I don't have to worry about like, oh, who's taking a shower? Do we have enough hot water? That kind of thing. So this has been honestly a game changer. And every single morning when I make my coffee, I unload it, and it just takes a couple minutes, and then I have everything I need for the day. I know some of you are probably cringing as you see my dishwasher. I'm not somebody who has to have everything perfectly put in a certain way and organized and get the most things in. I just kind of put things where they go, get them clean, and pull them back out. Robbie, however, is like the ultimate dishwasher Tetris player. He loves to go in and like make sure everything fits correctly and get as much in as he can with making sure that it gets clean and, you know. So I used to use Dawn dish soap when I would wash my bottles, and I would find that I would have to put more and more Dawn dish soap on my brush several times while I was doing the bottles. And I don't know if it's because we usually have less bottles now, or if it truly is how much better Mrs. Meyer's is, but I don't ever have to like reload my brush. And I find that it really gets the formula residue from my bottles so much easier. So I'm still loving Mrs. Meyer's, but didn't realize that it was making that much of a difference until I was not having to spend as much time cleaning bottles and not having to continuously refill my brush with Dawn dish soap. Okay, so here comes the real fun of the evening. I've kind of made this a game for myself, honestly, as sad as that sounds. My child, Avery Mallorie Sarvis, she makes a mess when she eats. I mean, she gets it everywhere in nooks and crannies that I would never expect her to get food. It's always there. So I always have to wipe down both trays, and this time I'm using my European cloth, the European dishcloth.
think is what it's called, but it's basically like a reusable paper towel. So I'm using that. Then I pull off the cover that goes on her high chair, and then you can kind of see I vacuum the floor, but there's crumbs all in the nooks and crannies of that high chair. So Shiner does a pretty good job. Shiner is our dog, if you're new. He does a pretty good job of getting anything off the floor that he's interested in, but things like fruit, not his favorite. So I always vacuum the floor, and then I go in and I take that attachment off and have to really go into the nooks and crannies. And I even have to go in sometimes, like you'll see in a second, with the European dishcloth and like really wipe down in the creases. Like, I just don't understand how she gets it everywhere, but it's crazy to me. Okay, this is amazing. If you're someone who's gluten-free or trying to be a little healthier or trying to take some of the gluten out of your life or whatever it might be, that's chickpea pasta. And honestly, Robbie and I were a little skeptical of it, but I had heard so many good things about it, so we tried it. I cannot tell a difference at all. And as you saw in the box, you can kind of rewind it and see if you want to, but they compare regular pasta and chickpea pasta, and there's lots of like really great differences, but it still tastes just like regular pasta. So if you've been looking for an alternative, I definitely recommend checking that out. I know they have a couple different styles. So they have like the penne pasta, they have the regular pasta, they have angel hair, I think. They have the little like spirally ones. But seriously, we are definitely putting this on our grocery list from now on because it was so good. So I just put away Avery's sippy cup, I guess you could call it, but that reminded me. Okay, so Avery has this cup, and she has a couple different ones. She has one that has a straw on it, and then she has the one that you just saw that has kind of like the bottle nipple on top, but then it also has another nipple that you can, or like a spout that you can change out. However, I can't get Avery to realize that you have to tip the cup up in order to get anything out of it. And so she's like always fussy because she wants water, but then I end up having to do it for her. So any of you moms, if you have any tips out there or any tips on teaching her how to drink out of a straw, because I think that other cup would be really helpful too, but she's just not getting it quite yet. So any tips are totally welcomed. So last thing about these European dishcloths, the really cool thing is if you haven't watched my videos before or heard me talk about it or heard anybody talk about it, is you just clean them by putting them in the dishwasher. So every night I throw those European dishcloths in my dishwasher, let them run, and then they're ready for the next morning. It's great. Something about having a picked up, tidy living room when I come down the stairs in the morning just helps me to start my day better. And I know that may not always be the case, but it is nice that I can do that now. And it doesn't take me very long. I know this video is going to be like 15 minutes long, but truthfully, a lot of that was longer because I was moving camera angles and things like that. So this really does, help me have a good start the next morning. So I kind of pick everything up, and as you'll see in just a second, I did pick up the blanket that Avery plays on. She's still kind of a spitter, and so it's nice to not mess up the carpet too much because that carpet is pretty much shot. But we have been putting like a blanket down, and I just wash it every night and then switch out which one we use. And then I was showing you that right after I finished those bottles, I found another one. This is like the story of my life. One other thing that I do before I go to bed is I throw a load of laundry in the washer and get it ready and prepped for the next morning. And then as I walk down the stairs, I feed the dogs, and then I push start on my washer so that I can get a load going. And I usually do a load a day. Now, what I'm doing right here is I'm shouting some of Avery's clothes. She had like some little like dirt prints on the bottom of some of them because she's walking in her walker like crazy, and then the other one she had gotten butternut squash or something all over a sleeper, but Shout actually did a pretty good job of taking it out the next day. The last thing that I do for the evening is I sit down, I watch some YouTube, I fold any laundry that I didn't get finished that day. Like I said, I usually do a load of laundry a day, so if I haven't gotten the first load folded, then I'll do this now. And I'm usually watching something on YouTube, whether it be Kayla Buell or Tiffany Beeston or all kinds of stuff. And the last thing that I wanted to do before I end this video is just say thank you guys so much for all of your support and all of your love on last night's video. If you haven't seen it, it's called A Great Day and an Explanation, Vlogmas Day 11. And I talk a little bit more about my Optavia journey so far and where my Optavia journey is going from now on, and kind of what this channel is going to be like and what's next for my family. But everybody was so incredibly kind, and your support means more than you know to me. It had me in tears this morning. But until next time, thank you guys so much. I love you all, and God bless you.